Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Permitted to cut nails during the period of the 3 weeks. So while there is consensus in the Poskim regarding there being restrictions against cutting nails during the period of Avelis for the passing of a relative, in which one may not cut nails throughout the Shiva and even during Shloshim, there is debate and question amongst the Poskim as to whether this restriction of mourning likewise applies during the public mourning of the destruction of the temple or not. And all in all, we have three opinions, three approaches. One approach is that it does not apply at all, and it is permitted to cut nails throughout the entire 3 weeks, as we do not find a source to apply this restriction during the public mourning of the destruction of the temple. So concludes the Magen Avram in chapter 551, Halacha 11, and the Neder B'Yehuda and Tshuva Yehuda 99. Other poskim go to the opposite extreme and say no, just like we find that there is a restriction of mourning which prohibits cutting nails during Shloshim and Shiva, so too by the public mourning of the temple, and thereby it is forbidden, according to this second approach, to cut nails throughout the entire 3 weeks. So rules the Knesset Sagdela in 551:41. And now we come to the third approach, which is an arbitration between the two positions and is the final ruling as brought in the Poskim. The third approach is that while it is permitted to cut nails during the 3 weeks up until the week of Tisha B'Av, starting from the week of Tisha B'Av, which is the Motzei Shabbos prior to Tisha B'Av, it becomes forbidden for one to cut his nails until Tisha B'Av is over. So if Tisha B'Av falls on Wednesday, for example, so starting from that Motzei Shabbos, you don't cut nails. Now what about if Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos? So in general, we find a machlekes in the Mechaber in chapter 551 Halacha 4 regarding the status of the week of Tisha B'Av in a case that Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos. Do we consider the Motzei Shabbos beforehand to be the start of the week of Tisha B'Av, or do we say since Tisha B'Av was pushed off to Sunday, then there really is no week of Tisha B'Av in such a year? And the conclusion is that while Sfardim are lenient to say that the week before is not the week of Tisha B'Av, Ashkenazim are stringent. So in years that Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos, Ashkenazim avoid cutting their nails beginning from the Motzei Shabbos before Tisha B'Av. This is opposed to if the 9th of Av actually fell on Sunday, in which case everyone agrees that there is no week of Tisha B'Av in such a case. Now what about cutting the nails l'kavat Shabbos on Erev Shabbos? Such as in the case we mentioned, Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos, and we're stringent to consider the week of Tisha B'Av from the Motzei Shabbos before. Can you cut nails l'kavat Shabbos, that Erev Shabbos, which is Erev Shabbos Chazayin, and Erev Shabbos Tisha B'Av? And the answer is that it is permitted to cut nails l'kavat Shabbos on Friday, and thus even though we are stringent not to cut nails in what we consider the week of Tisha B'Av, l'kavat Shabbos it is permitted to do so. Nonetheless, some poskim limit this only to those people who are accustomed to cut their nails every Erev Shabbos or as often as possible. Just as it is permitted to cut the nails on Erev Shabbos or Kavod Shabbos, so too the Poskim write that it is permitted to cut nails for the sake of a mitzvah, such as for the sake of Tevila and a mikvah and the like, even during the week of Tisha B'Av. So to summarize, the majority of Poskim, and so is the final practice, rule that during the week of Tisha B'Av one is no longer allowed to cut nails, but until the week of Tisha B'Av it is permitted to do so. In years that Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos, the restriction begins from the Motzei Shabbos beforehand, according to Ashkenazim, although it is permitted to cut nails for the sake of Erev Shabbos if one usually does so, and for the need of a mitzvah. We'll conclude with mentioning that in such a year that Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos, it ends up that the first of Menachem Av falls on Friday. And since we don't cut nails on Rish Chodesh, thereby only those who are accustomed to cut their nails every Erev Shabbos are to cut it even in such a situation on Erev Shabbos, which is Rish Chodesh. However, everyone else is to cut the nails on Thursday, the day before, in order to avoid cutting it on Rish Chodesh.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.